So we did that, and then it was I'd written 4 books before they really took off. What actually happened was that Columbia University Press had an arrangement with Edinburgh University Press, which owned the small imprint that had done the books, and they said, send us over a small number. They probably took about 100, and we'll see what we can do. And they sent them off to various independent bookstores, where they sat on the shelves for a year or so. And then some people to whom I would be eternally grateful started to read them and pass them around, and so word of mouth situation developed. And then that great and good newspaper, the New York Times, which is sort of up in the pantheon of heroes as far as I was concerned, wrote a full-page article about the books, and that was noticed by large publishers in New York, and they said that they would bring out the books in greater numbers than the original 1,500. And so it was my American readers who discovered them. Again, a group of people to whom I'm most grateful, because had that not happened, I think I wouldn't have written any more. I think I might have become discouraged or to have done something else. But it was these wonderful American readers who brought the books forward, so to speak. And then we went into 46 languages. We're in 46 languages now, including the Scots, actually. We did the book about Precious as a young girl, as an 8-year-old. I wrote that and had it translated into Scots, because my Scots is not quite up to it. My chap called James Robertson, who's a very good writer we have in Scotland. He speaks wonderful Scots. You would find, if you read it, Michael, it would be, you'd be able to read about, I'd say 80%, 85% of it. So you would read this book and you'd say, my goodness, I can read Scots. Because it's got, a lot of it is English words spelt in a funny way. And then the rest are completely separate words. Many of Scandinavian origin. So to cry in Scots is to greet. And if you go to Scandinavia, they say greet, grat, things like that. So I feel I could probably write a Scandinavian crime novel. And when I was watching that wonderful Danish series, The Killing, I don't know whether you saw that, which we all liked in the UK very much indeed, I discovered that I would hear about, I'd recognise about 1 in 6,000 words or something like that.
Do you find that your readers are different? Like that different flavours or colours come out for readers in different countries?
I think that the books do appear to have a different impact in different countries. That's a very interesting question. Part of that, I suppose, must depend on the translation and the skill of the translation. I have heard that 1 or 2 of my foreign language editions have not perhaps been as well translated as they might, but generally speaking, I've been very lucky with my translators, but I've had 1 or 2 sniffy remarks passed about one or 2 of them. The books seem to touch different chords in different countries. In Scandinavia, they're very, very popular in Scandinavia. The Swedes in particular. Sweden has a population of 9 million people, I believe, and the books have sold about 1.5 million copies. So that really is very, very good. I'm very well disposed towards the Swedes. And that's why, well, it's not mine, but you'll notice that Isabel Dalhousie books drives a green Swedish car. I give references to nice Swedish cars. Just at the time that I think they're stopping making them, but there we are. So they went very well in Sweden. They were very slow to take off in Russia. And they are now in Russian, and I do have Russian readers, but they were slow in Russia. They're very popular in various other countries. They seem to be quite popular in French. In Dutch, interestingly enough, my Dutch publishers said that they really couldn't sell very many of them. And the reason for that, of course, is the Dutch are such wonderful linguists that they read in English. This is a really serious problem for publishers in the Netherlands, but it's also a problem for publishers in Sweden as well. A lot of my books are read in English in Sweden. It's just that the people are so good at English that they will read them elsewhere. I've got a lot of readers in Singapore and in India. I've got a large readership in India, which is very nice. The Scotland Street novels, Bertie, one of my Scotland Street characters, he's got a big following in India. I was at the Jaipur Literary Festival, which is a marvellous festival. And at the end of it, this was a couple of years ago, at the end there was this big, fantastic party, really magnificent party. William Dalrymple, who's one of the organisers, does a good party. And this was up in the Fortune, a beautiful setting there. And a party with, there must have been about 1,000 people that day, 1,000 people. And it was a buffet style, and I went and collected the plate and then just had to find somewhere to sit down. And there was this table full of ladies, and one spare seat, so I thought that was a seat that I could perhaps take. And so I sat down, and these were fairly grand ladies, many of them from Calcutta who had come over for this, and sitting there looking very, very elegant. And they looked at me, and the first thing they said is, now then, whatever's going to happen to Bertie, which is from my Scotland Street characters. So it's always very nice when you see the books being taken to heart in places other than concerned.
Do you think they mean different things for different audiences?
Yes, yes, they probably do. One of the things, the following year I went to the Calcutta Literary Festival, and I gave the keynote address at the Calcutta Literary Festival, which was, I gave a lecture there, and I decided to make it a tribute to R.K. Narayan, because I'm a very great fan of R.K. Narayan. I couldn't have written these books had I not read Narayan. I'm a very great fan. And that was a point that I think quite a number of my readers in India said, oh, we see that. We see Mara Motsui and her world as being very similar to the world of Malgudi novels in Narayan. So they're seeing that. Other people are seeing different things, I think. I'm not sure what the American readers, for example, would be seeing. I don't know. I think people do sometimes plug into the message of forgiveness that Mara Motsui has. I think and kindness. I think people are searching for kindness and for examples of kindness. It's possible they're seeing that in the United States. Certainly some of the remarks that people make suggest that.
And what about the other series? Did they also originate from short stories or from something you had seen?
No, the Isabel Dalhousie series, that started just because I wanted to write about Edinburgh, where I live. And I felt that I should perhaps write about my own world as well as other people's worlds. And so I set that in Edinburgh, and I was particularly interested in writing about a moral philosopher. Isabel edits a journal of applied ethics, and so that I thought would give me an opportunity to explore a lot of issues that I was very interested in, both professionally and privately. So that started as a series of novels. The Scotland Street novel started as a serial novel after a conversation with Armistead Mopan, in which we discussed Tales of the City, his serial novel, which had been published in the San Francisco Chronicle. And I very unwisely publicly said it would be a good idea for newspapers to have serial novels again, and was immediately approached by the editor of the newspaper and said that I was on and I should do that. And I found myself writing a serial novel involving a chapter a day. And that was 8 years ago that I started, and it's still going. We're on volume 8. I've just finished volume 8, which is appearing in the newspaper at the moment. So, for example, this morning I had to write next Thursday's chapter. I really have to keep going with that. That was the origin of that. And I think that the